Hello and welcome to Edupedia World. My name is Marcus and the subject is spoken English. In this session we'll be looking at starting a conversation. An informal conversation, also known as small talk, is not a matter of saying deep, brilliant or amazing things. Small talk is talking about ordinary, common and everyday things with interest and enthusiasm, asking questions, making comments. The key to starting an informal conversation is finding something in common, perhaps the weather, your work, your location. You don't have to impress the other person, you simply have to connect. So if they're light-hearted, be light-hearted. If they're serious, be serious. But don't jump in with anything too serious or controversial. Then you have to keep it going. So don't just talk, ask questions. We're going to start with greetings. Generally, we use the word hello as a general greeting. It's polite in any situation. Hello. Hello, Jack. Hello, Professor Smith. Hi, on the other hand, is an informal greeting, and it's used in situations where you meet friends. Hi, how are you going? Hi, James. How are things? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening are slightly formal and can be used by themselves or with other words. Good morning, everyone, or good morning, Mr. Smith, or good afternoon, class. There is no good day in modern English as such, although the Australians will say g'day, which is a shortened version of good day, but this is not formal. And of course there's goodbye, which has its origins in God be with ye. It can be by itself or goodbye, Jeff. Goodbye, everyone. Or shortened simply to bye. Bye. Good night is used when you're going to bed or when somebody else is going to bed. Good night. See you in the morning. But it's not used in the same way as good evening. It's particularly if someone's going to bed. Good night. See you is another way of saying goodbye. It's informal, of course. So see you is an informal form of goodbye. So I'll be off now. See you. Or see you tomorrow. See you later. See you on Monday. Or just see ya. These are the most common greetings. When you are introduced to somebody, you can say hello, or you can say pleased to meet you, or nice to meet you. For example, Carl, this is Jeff. Nice to meet you, Carl. People love to hear the sound of their own name. So when you introduce somebody, you use this is. Carl, this is Jeff. Or if you were introducing a number of people, it would be these are. Carl, these are my children. And the response would be nice to meet you or pleased to meet you, regardless as to whether it was one or more people that you were meeting. Nice to meet you. To introduce people is to tell them each other's names so that they can get to know each other. Or you can introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Carl. Or, slightly less formal would be, hi, I'm Carl. Or, hello, I'm Carl. Of course, if you want to have a conversation, you might need to throw something else in. Hi, I'm Carl. I work with Jack. Assuming that the other person knows Jack, you now have something in common. So I'm is short for I am. I'm Carl. I'm 20 years old. I'm a friend of Jack. I'm married. I'm a teacher. If you wanted to say something more general about what you do, you might say, I work for a software company, or I work in IT, or I work as a translator. And, of course, to keep the conversation going, you finish with a question. I'm a teacher. What do you do? If you want to talk about where you live, you might say, I'm from Sydney, or you might say, I live in Sydney. To say I'm from Sydney can mean that that is where you live now, or that is where you grew up or spent a significant period of time. I live in Sydney means that's where you're living now. I might say, I'm from Sydney, but now I live in Delhi. Or I might say I live near Delhi if the place where I live is probably unknown. But of course, don't simply say, I'm from Sydney if you're from Sydney. If you can, say, I'm from Sydney, where are you from? Unless they've just asked the same thing of you. Note the emphasis on the you. I'm from Sydney, where are you from? Alternately, you could say, where do you live? If we're talking to someone we know, after saying hello, we might say, how are you? Hello, Jack. How are you? To answer this question, you might say, I'm fine, thanks, or I'm well, thanks, or I'm good, thanks. If you're not fine or well, you might simply say, I'm okay. Of course, this question doesn't get you very far into a conversation. It's a rather closed question. If you want someone to talk about their life in general, you might say, how are things? Or how are things with you? Or if you want them to speak about something specifically, you might say, tell me. Tell me about your family. Tell me what happened. It's important to remember that conversation is not about sharing deep and profound and fascinating things. It's about talking about common, ordinary, everyday things with interest and enthusiasm, asking questions and making comments. To ask someone to describe something, you might use the word what's and like, as in, what's the weather like? What was your trip like? What's is short for what is. What's the Great Barrier Reef like? What, where, when, and why are question words. Where is your house? Where are you going? When did you get here? When is the next class? Why did you join this group? Why are you thinking of going? If you need to make a request, you can use I'd like to, I want to. I want to is more forceful than I'd like to. I'd like to talk to you, or I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you indicates urgency. I'd is short for I would. We can also say, we'd like to talk to you. We would like to talk to you. But then it's we want to talk to you. To make a suggestion, we use we could or let's. We could talk about this. Or let's talk about this. Once again, let's shows more urgency. If you want to make a suggestion but you are unsure how it will be received, you can say, should we? Should we be going now? Should we be talking about this? Or if you are suggesting something that you want to do, you can say, how about? How about we eat in tonight? How about we agree to disagree? Or we could add ing onto it. How about fishing? How about skiing? When expressing opinions in a casual situation, we can use the words I think. I think you're right. I think chocolate is better than vanilla. I think it's too early for that. And of course, I don't think. I don't think that would work. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think 23 divided by 7 is 3. If you want to ask somebody what they think about something, you can say, what do you think of? What do you think of the latest Batman movie? What do you think of the new Office? But if you want to know if something is a good idea, then you say, what do you think about? What do you think about capital punishment? What do you think about going out to dinner tonight? To agree with somebody, you can say, you're right, or I agree. I agree can also be used with I agree with. I agree with Napoleon. I agree with you. I agree with your opinion about population growth. You're right can be used with another phrase, like, you're right, it's getting late, or you're right, we don't have the resources. Or you can say that somebody else is right. Nick is right. Or Nick is right about that. If you don't agree, you can say, I don't think so. For example, we still have time for a movie. I don't think so. It's getting late. Or, driving is the best way to travel. I don't think so. I prefer to fly. To tell somebody what you plan to do, you use I'm going to. I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to have dinner at 9. Or, we're going to. We're going to be late for that one. As you can see, going to has nothing to do with motion. In fact, somebody would say, I'm going to go. I'm going to go by train. I'm going to go to the concert. Meaning, I intend to go. To ask somebody else of their intention, you would say, are you going to? Are you going to go by train? Are you going shopping? Are you going to eat here? The phrase going shopping is unique. We don't say going writing or going painting or going eating. We would say going to write or going to paint. There is a small selection of verbs which we can use the ing form when we talk going. Going shopping, going skating, hunting. When making arrangements, we use we can. We can meet here at 8 o'clock. We can have lunch tomorrow. We can pick it up after work. To explain the details of those arrangements, we would say I will or I'll. I'll be standing on the corner. I'll get the car. To be sure that someone is happy with the arrangements, we use is and okay. Is that okay? Is 7:30 okay? Is lunch tomorrow okay? We can have lunch tomorrow. Is that okay? Is it okay if I bring a friend? When it is important that you do something, you can say, I have to. I have to send a text message. I have to go home now. I have to go out tonight. To ask whether somebody else's intentions are important, you can say, do you have to? Do you have to do that while you're driving? Do you have to go home now? Do you have to bring him? And of course, when it's important that you do something at someone else's request, it is, do I have to? Do I have to bring identification? When it's not so important, you can say, I should. I should go home now. I should ring her. I should save some money. So remember, speak with enthusiasm and interest. Ask questions. And give more information so that the person that you're talking to can ask questions of you to keep the conversation rolling. An interesting cultural note about pauses is that different cultures pause in their conversations for different lengths of time. What you might find to be a comfortable pause, somebody else might find to be uncomfortably long, or vice versa. Most native speakers I know can handle a pause of about 4 seconds before they feel as though they have to blurt something out. Well, I hope you have found this session useful, and thank you for joining us at Edupedia World.